Are you ready for your question and answer session? What piece of advice would you give to that person who's just about to start out on his or her triathlon career?
Go and enjoy it. That is the ultimate advice that I would give. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. I would say yes, have a little bit of a training plan, just so you don't go in blind as to knowing what you have to do. You want to be able to enjoy it, but go through all the disciplines. Smile and have fun.
That might be difficult, but we'll see how it goes.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
How do you know it's me? Well, thanks for the tip.
You're
anyway.
welcome.
Thanks. Right then, more serious questions. Question from Shawnee. What's your biggest inspiration to get up and go every day? What gets you out of bed?
I thrive on a challenge. I obviously set myself some crazy challenges. And by doing that, I want to make sure that I do them well. I don't want to do them half-assed. Put as much effort that I can to be the best that do the best that I can. I also think that our inspiration get something to make yourself accountable. So I will have a training plan, or I'll have some sort of plan in place to make sure that I'm not going to fail. I'm going to do it. I will finish, and I'll do it well. So I would say that's probably my biggest inspiration to. And I was also just thinking about that actually. One of my biggest inspirations was from years ago when I fracturally dislocated my kneecap, and I was told by the doctor that I would never be able to play sport again. I was busy training county hockey at the time, and I thought my world had fallen apart. So to be able to be sat here now at just turning 40 to finishing an Ironman last year, I'd say just listen to your body. And that's probably my...
Doctors are not always right, are they? Slightly following on from that, question from Luke. How do you balance an intense training schedule, which you've obviously got, while working full time?
Okay. So, general rule of thumb, I will train every morning, every night, 5 days a week, and then at a weekend. I will get up at 5 o'clock every morning. I will train before work. So that could be an hour's swim, or bike or run, depending on what I'm doing. I start work at 8. So I'll go to work till 5:30. I'll come home and I will train on the evening as well. The biggest thing to make sure that I can succeed in those training sessions for me is I have to be prepared and organised. So night before, I will pack my bags, everything that I need the next day. I make breakfast, lunch, all my snacks and everything that I need. Everything's done, so there's no excuses. You do find sometimes that if you aren't organised, it's too easy to not do those sessions.
Yeah, and then if you miss a session, you're chasing to try and catch up, and that don't work. Does
it? But that's how I pretty much balance my week to fitting it in around working full time.
Cool. A question from Kate.
Okay.
Kate. It's quite a good one. Kate says, do you sleep?
Not as much as I'd like to. Yes, I do sleep, Kate. I will go to bed pretty much most nights by clockwork, if I can by 10 o'clock. The alarm's set for 5 o'clock, so that's probably 7 hours sleep. I think as a triathlete, they do say that you should get between 7 to 8 hours sleep a day. Sleep's important. I'll try and get a nana nap in at a weekend if I can. But yeah, I do sleep. I do find it hard though when like the training's intense.
Yeah, because your mind's on the training.
Yeah,
and you can't
so
relax.
during the week, it's like my body's restless a lot more, and if you go into bed late or you've not had time to chill out a little bit, but it's hard sometimes when you finish a training session, especially like if I've done it out and smashed a TT bike, your body's still buzzing.
Yeah.
So your body can still be awake. So those nights can be restless, but I do sleep as much as I can.
Yeah. Another one from Shawnee. What's your favourite training session?
Nice one, Shawnee. Of course, it's with you. Smashing out a TT blast, be it a TT, I don't know, 25 miler or going out for a big long TT session and then having a brick run after it. So pretty much go for that. I've run a 5k brick off the back of it. So I would probably put that down as one of my favourites. We have fun, so as much as we're training hard, we make it fun at the same time. So yeah, good one, Shawnee. Yeah, it'd have to be that.
Cool. Another one from Luke. What are your main goals for 2023? I mean, 2023 has obviously already started anyway for you.
Yeah, so one of my goals has already gone. So I've just been to Ironman Lanzarote. Been to Lanzarote even and done Ironman 70.3. One of my goals was to podium, but I would say it was a really tough race. It was really windy. The run was hot. There was tough conditions. So to go out there and I put the graft in. I trained hard over winter. I did want to podium, but I'm not disheartened by my results. So I finished in the top 10, and I think out of that for my age
strong
group,
top 10 as well.
Yeah, for my age group, I'm happy with those results. You can't compare it to any race that you've done before because of location, the heat.
Yeah, and it's early in the year as well. So
Yeah.
you come straight off winter training, straight into racing in the heat in Lanzarote. I don't want mega hot, but it's still not what you've been training for the last 3 or 4 months. In
No, and it's
temperatures over here.
difficult. Exactly, it was difficult to train for running in the heat, being at home. So there's only so many saunas you can do, and without sticking a treadmill in it, I didn't really know how else to acclimatise with it. So that was one of my goals for this year. I'm going to start time trialling a little bit more. I took a step back from that last year to concentrate on my running because time trialling was ruining my runs. But I think because now my running is in a better position, I feel confident to go back to time trialling and balance that out a bit better.
Yeah.
So I will do a 50-mile time trial. So I've done 5, 10s, 15s, 25s. So next on the list is for 50. I've got a couple of 10Ks planned. I've got Manchester Marathon on Sunday. Not quite sure how that's going to go, but we'll see. And then I have another half Ironman distance event in September. I have a goal for that. I obviously want to podium.
Yeah.
And then we have Hawaii in October.
Certainly do.
So that is the ultimate goal of this year. The penultimate goal of this year. So see how that goes.
Cool.
Calendar's a little bit less this year though.
I must admit, it's not as intense as it was last year, is it? No, slightly better.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk about obviously doing Ironman distance, half Ironman distance, 70.3 if you're watching. Talk about nutrition and what to eat, what to drink. I suppose it's different for everybody because everybody gets on with different stuff. Some people have gels all the time, some people don't. What advice would you give from your experience as to what nutrition you need to take on board, how often you need to eat, drink, that sort of thing?
So it's all trial and error.
Yeah.
From the start to finish of learning, being on the bike or doing triathlons, you've just got to find out what works for you. I have a little alert on my Garmin. It goes off every 30 minutes. If I've not eaten or drank within that time frame, I know I need to take on food, drink, water, whatever it may be. I'll have flapjack, saurian bars, bananas. I tend to not use gels on the bike. I will save gels for on the run.
Yeah.
Just purely because my stomach just can't handle that. But I would say that if you're going into it, you just see what works for you. See what works. Some people prefer to take it on just all in liquid fat form on the bike. But I'd say that for me, I can take on proper food on the bike.
And that's what you'd rather do.
Yeah, that's what I'd rather do.
Works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
following on from that, got a question from Jack. Jack wants to know what salt tablets you use, because that's something that you recently started doing, probably last year. Yeah,
so coming out of, I did the Dalesman Triathlon, not last year, the year before. I originally was planned to do Ironman Wales, but it got deferred for a year due to COVID.
Yeah.
So rather than waste all my training for it, I thought I'd do Dalesman full distance. I learned a lot. I look back now and think actually maybe that was meant to happen, that I didn't do Ironman Wales that year, that I could do an event which was quite mentally tough, very lonely, and I learned a lot. So I learned a lot about nutrition. And also that was the day I found out about salt tablets.
Yeah.
My coach had given me some salt crisps during the run, just because I was starting to flag and I was struggling. So you don't underestimate how much you need salt, and by learning from that. And then I bumped into a guy on the run who he was using these salt tablets, showed me what the packet were, and thought, I didn't try any, but I thought I'm going to try those. They really worked for him. So I came home from that event and thought, right, I need to give them a go. So got into training with using salt tablets. So I use salt stick tablets. You can orange flavour or lemon.
I like the lemon and lime ones. They're quite nice. Yeah. So Jack, if you want to try them, lemon and lime are all right, mate. They're pretty good.
Yeah. So lemon and lime salt stick tablets. You can take up to about 50 in a day. Really convenient. You can carry them on when you're on the run, or you can have them in your bike pouch. However it works, but you just get this nice little boost feeling. So definitely keep on top of that with that.
Cool. Good answer. Back to Shawnee.
Okay.
It's busy, lots of questions. Thanks, Shawnee, for the questions. What's the best challenge / event that you've done so far?
Hands down, Ironman Wales.
Any particular reasons, apart from obviously your result? But
just from start to finish, from the moment of entering Ironman Wales, it's one of the toughest Ironmans in the world. I've always said, like, if you're going to do something that scares you. But from arriving on race day, the atmosphere, the walk down to the swim, singing the national anthem on the beach, surviving probably the toughest swim.
Yeah, it was rough on it, the swim.
So to come out and survive, and anything else was a bonus that day. Bike didn't go to plan for me at all. I had a mechanical. I lost a lot of time. But I didn't give up.
No.
Still carried on.
And it hammered down with rain.
And it rained. So if I hadn't had a mechanical, I'd have finished in the dry and I'd have started the run before it started raining. Yeah. But it is what it is. And then the run, hilly, 3,000 feet, I think it was, of running on the hills. Climbing on the hills. So to run a marathon, a hilly marathon, in a decent time as well.
Yeah.
So I was, probably the best thing I've ever done so far.
And obviously the bonus of finishing where you did and getting what you got out of it.
Yeah, so
end.
finishing 4th. My mechanical probably cost me a podium place.
But
I obviously qualified to go to Kona. So
exactly.
the graft obviously worked, and it's probably the best one so far. I'd say so far.
Yeah, so far.
Don't know what's next.
You never know what's around the corner, do you? Another one from Luke. What's your favourite section of a triathlon? So swim, bike or run?
Bike, hands down. Love the bike. It is my favourite. There's nothing you can, out of all of them, you can go out, you can be sociable on the bike, you can train hard on the bike, you can have easy days on the bike, you can see so many places, you can make your training interesting, you can enjoy coffee and cake on the bike. It's just fun.
More sociable.
Yeah, I just think if you can, you just embrace it and enjoy it and find a bike that you're comfy on, a bike that looks good, a bike that looks fast. Get wheels that look fast. It's all just good fun.
That's one thing I've learned recently as well, which I probably didn't pay any attention to before when you were obviously doing the triathlon and I had nothing to do with it and wasn't that interested. So I didn't really know how much you were spending on anything. But recently, obviously, because I've been buying a bit of stuff, I've discovered how much things cost. And some of it was a bit of a shock, I have to tell you.
Okay.
But we'll not talk about that now.
Oh, thanks for that.
That's all right. No problem. So I've got one last question.
Okay.
Now, we're both part of Off That Couch Fitness, coached by Steve Clark. I've got a question here from somebody from Off That Couch Fitness.
Oh, God.
I don't know to say his or her name or not. But this person wants to know who is the best Off That Couch Fitness teammate that you've got.
Oh, okay. I've got an idea of who that might be from.
Okay.
So my favourite Off the Couch Fitness teammate would have to be Harriet Clark.
Harriet Clark?
Steve's daughter. So Harriet is, how old is she? 5?
Yeah.
She comes to most of the races. She's been on Tri-Camp with us.
She has.
She gives the best high fives. She also does the best pre-race tattoos.
Yes.
Loves going for an ice cream. And likes unicorns.
She does like, yes. She does. Can't
So
argue with
yeah,
that.
I think
So Harriet Clark then?
Yeah.
So, sorry Chris Brown, it's not you, mate.
Is that who it was?
It
I
was.
thought
It
would
was
be.
Chris, yeah, it was. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay. So is that it?
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed your questions.
Thank you.
That's
Would you mind if I ask you a few questions?
If you've got
I
some.
know you're not expecting this, so I just thought it would be a good idea.
There might be. Go on then, fire away.
Okay. So, obviously triathlon was my thing. Motorbikes was yours.
Yeah.
What made you take up triathlon?
Two things. As you know, I was very anti-triathlon to start with because it took up so much of your time. And it did take up a lot of time. Training for an Ironman is a massive undertaking. So I did my own thing and wasn't really interested, even though I used to come and watch you race.
That was a chore sometimes as well.
Yeah, it was. I'm not going to lie about it. But there was two things. Both happened in Wales. Swansea 70.3 Ironman, where you podiumed, had a great race. I looked back at a photograph of me stood next to the M dot and couldn't believe how much weight I'd put on without really noticing that I'd put any weight on. And all of a sudden looked and thought, wow, I'm piling weight on. I need to do something. Me not being particularly athletic either anymore. So that was quite hard to get my head around. But then going to Tenby and watching you compete in Ironman Wales, that was what tipped me over the edge. I had no interest in doing an Ironman or competing in a triathlon, to be honest, at all. I just wanted something to sort of get me a bit fitter and lose a bit of weight. But once I'd been to Ironman Wales, that was it. I basically came back, messaged Steve, and said...
You didn't even talk to me.
I didn't even tell you. I wanted to speak to him first to see whether he thought it was a suicide move. And that's what I put in the message. I just put Ironman Wales 2023, achievable or suicide. And obviously Steve's not going to say no, so he said, let's do it. So then I entered it and then told you that I'd entered it.
I come home and found you in a wetsuit upstairs.
Yeah, that doesn't happen all the time, by the way.
I was like, what have you done?
Bought a wetsuit, that's what I've done. Anyway, yeah, so that was it. So it was Ironman Wales. It was the whole atmosphere. Everybody I was with during the day, watching the race, supporting everybody. The weather was awful. It was a proper hard day for everybody competing. And I have massive respect for everybody across the finish line. Everybody who set off from the beach in the morning into the sea, which was really rough. And it just made me want to do it. I don't know how I'm going to get on. Obviously, I'm training.
You'll be fine.
I'm going couch to Ironman in 12 months, hopefully, but we'll see what happens. So that was what it was.
So what? So moving on from that, triathlon not being your thing, what's been the hardest part of your journey so far?
Swimming, definitely.
Okay.
Everyone can put one foot in front of another, even if it's only walking, and then get a bit quicker and start running. And people can ride a bike. You learn how to ride a bike with kids. And I always say, once you've learned to ride a bike, you don't forget how to ride a bike. Swimming is completely different. It's all technique.
Can you remember when we was in Mallorca?
Yeah, when I thought I could still swim, when really the last time I'd done front crawl was in primary school 40 odd years before, and got in the pool, swam halfway down it and had a panic attack and had to stop. So then I had to go and have swimming lessons at 49 years old to learn how to swim. And I'm now, obviously with the interruption of COVID, I'm a bit further down the line, but still not a great swimmer, and I don't think I'll ever be. I'll never be fast. And I'll never be that confident in the water. I've just got to get it into my head that I can do it and keep plugging away. But yeah, swimming. Cycling, the more you do, the better you get, because you get fitter. Running, the same thing. The more you do, the fitter you get, the easier it becomes. You
beat me.
I did beat you in a half marathon. And losing weight's helped as well. So I've lost nearly 2 stone. So nearly 2 stone in weight, and that's levelled off now. So I'm where I need to be. But all those things improve. Swimming, technically, I suppose, should improve. I've lost weight because I've got less weight to drag through the water, but it doesn't seem to have worked. So it's all technique. I've just got to keep plugging away. So the swim is the thing that I'm, not most worried about, but the swim is the thing that I'm not looking forward to most.
Yes, you're not your most confident part.
No, not at all. And I don't know whether that'll ever change. But
just keep putting the time in.
It is what it is. So,
my last question is: are you aiming to beat my time at Ironman Wales?
And my honest answer to that question is no. I'm just aiming to finish. What did you do at Ironman Wales?
13 hours something.
Okay, just over 13 hours. No. My whole point of doing it is to finish an Ironman, not to finish in a particular time. I have no goal regarding time. I just want to finish. If I can finish an Ironman, I'll set out to do what I wanted to do.
Nice.
And I'll be happy. If I cross the finish line and get the medal,
you will cross that finish line.
That'll be me done. And I'm happy with that.
You will cross that finish line.
Oh, thanks for the confidence booster.
You're welcome.
No problem.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
So pretty much that's our first questions and answers.
It is.
Video.
Done. Hope you've enjoyed the questions and answers. What do you want us to do next? answers on a postcard or in the comments. Thank you very much.